Hello everybody and welcome to Friday's edition of the Pritchard Cycling News Show. Now first up, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody who took part in the Wahoo Le Col fueled by SIS team rides that we've had over the past 3 weeks.
Is it spinning? It's spinning, here we go. We have got... Oh, it's been beaut today, hasn't it? Oh! So we've got 120 RPMs.
I'm passing over leadership now to Ed Lavrak. He's going to be leading the next three. I might be coming back December time. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with it. But yeah, it's been an absolute blast. So everybody that took part in those, thank you so much. I'll make sure I promote the links for Ed's rides and I'll be in there streaming no doubt next week. So if you want to be part of those, keep an eye out for those links. Shall we do some news? Let's do some below average news. Yeah, slim pickings. I'm kidding, we've got some amazing news coming up. Well, I mean, this is not an amazing story, especially for Alex Dowsett, as Alex Dowsett, after, what, a week, 2 weeks, after announcing that he's going to be taking on the hour record, has had to withdraw because he got, well, as Kevin Hart would say, he got the vid, didn't he? Bloody got the vid. So the hour record was set to take place in Manchester on December the 12th. There hasn't been a new date set, but clearly it's going to be in 2021 now, and I think it'll probably be early 2021. He won't want to go past where he feels his best form is once he's got over the vid. Dowsett said in a statement from the UCI, "I'm really disappointed the attempt can't go ahead as planned, but my health is first and foremost a priority. I want to thank everyone, the organisers, event sponsors, my team, the UCI and above all the public for their support. I'm very much looking forward to attacking the record in 2021 with the same intent. We're looking to announce a date in 2021 as soon as possible." And it's such a shame for Dowsett because he's clearly had a decent, solid block of racing, decent, solid block of training. He took... Is that an alien in my throat? He took that stage 8 victory at the Giro d'Italia. He's been on some really, really good form. And now he's kind of going to have to maintain some of that form, lose a bit of that form, and then hopefully regain that form back for when he goes for this hour record. I don't think he's going to wait too long to do it. I think it'll be probably January, February time. Again, if he's doing it in Manchester, I ain't no meteorologist, but I'm sure the air pressure during winter, it tends to be a lot lower. So if that's the case, he's going to want to try and get it done as soon as possible. But above all else, like his health, his partner's health, and clearly their new baby's health is the most important thing right now. So we can wait for the hour record as long as Dowsett gets himself back to full fitness and he becomes vid-free in the near future. So hopefully he's not suffering too badly with it and he makes a swift and safe recovery. Alex Dowsett, YouTube sensation, cycling sensation, we wish you all the health and, I don't know, just get well soon, mate. Just get well soon. Next up, when we've been talking on and off about this team trying to find a sponsor for 2021, NTT Pro Cycling looked like they were going to be folding at the end of 2020, but lo and behold, right at the last minute, a brand new sponsor has come in and the team is now going to be known as Quebecer Assos. So a couple of days ago, over on Cycling News, they announced that Assos helped save Doug Ryder's World Tour team. They're going to say, in the past week and with the funding from Assos secure, the team management have been scrambling to build a new roster and the team are set to keep the core of their South African contingent for next season. The arrival of Assos means the African riders have a key pathway into the World Tour and ensures the safety of a World Tour team that was on the brink of closure. So NTT, or what will now be Quebecer Assos, live to fight another year in the World Tour. And that means, if I remember rightly, that Alpecin Fenix had finished top of the Pro Conti leaderboard, which means that they'll get invites across the board to all Grand Tours. However, our KSM who finished second, I think I'm right in saying that, won't necessarily get those invites now. I'm sure they'll be secure of a Tour de France invite, but unfortunately for the likes of Quintana, he won't be able to hit the La Vuelta or the Giro. But great news that we still have another team. It looked likely that we'd be losing CCC as well as NTT, but it lives to fight another day, which is great for the African contingent. It allows them a way in into the World Tour. It's not the only way in, but it certainly helps having a South African team in there to promote the sport, to promote the charity in Quebecer, and to get those African riders across into Europe to be able to show us what they're capable of blooming doing. And then continuing on with this story of teams, unfortunately we have, it's pretty sad news really, as one of the most well-renowned teams here in the UK are disappearing. Over on the British Continental website, hey listen, quick one, British Continental website, if you don't check it out, make sure you follow them on Twitter. There's a link down in the description. There's a link down to the website. Go and check it out. It's a great website, especially for people here in the UK who want to check out what is going on in the domestic scene. Yeah, I know, not much is going off right now, but when it does, you've got to go and check it out. I love it. Anyway, on their website, the story runs with the end of the road for Vitus Pro Cycling, powered by Brother UK. Cherie Pridham's Racing's 11-year Continental project will close at the end of 2020. Now, this is the longest running UCI Continental team in the UK, and it's going to be closing its doors at the end of the year. Now, through her Cherie Pridham racing vehicle, Pridham has run a UCI Continental team for 11 years. First as Rally GAC, and latterly as Vitus Pro Cycling, and during that time her team's notched up UCI wins at Vuelta Mexico Telemax and the Tour de Normandy, as well as regular fixtures in the Tour of Britain, the Tour of Yorkshire. Scott Thwaites, Ed Clancy, Sebastian Mora, Alberto Torres, Mark Christian, Matt Holmes, Graham Briggs are amongst the riders that have featured in past squads. Pridham was the only female manager of a men's UCI team. She says she will remain in the sport, with the team's press release declaring that she will continue to place her vast experience at the service of a scene she described as close to my heart. The team will continue up until the end of 2020, participating in e-racing and other activities. Now, if you want to check out the full story, as I said, link is down in the description, over to the British Continental to read up on the rest of that story. But yeah, sad news. I think we're going to be down to maybe 3, 4 Continental teams here in the UK. I know Ribble Weltite are going to be continuing. I believe Canyon, DHB, powered by Saurine, insured by Veli, I don't know what their name is anymore, but I think they're still around. Leave your comments down below. Who else am I missing for 2021? I don't know. But it's a sad state of affairs. Cherie Pridham has been part of the UK domestic scene for so bloody long, and it's so sad to see that team go. Like I said in that report, they've done some amazing things. They've got some amazing stage victories, and they've had some amazing riders on their roster. And yeah, it's just, even when the going was good for the UK scene, like 2012, 2013, 2014, 15, it was difficult to secure sponsors for a long-term sponsorship deal for cycling teams. But right now, it must be nigh on impossible to try and secure any sort of funding for a cycling team. So I think feels like we've taken a huge step back, and I think what we're going to see now is the resurgence, take whichever one is the correct term for what I'm about to say, but we're going to see, I think it's resurgence, of more club-based teams racing at the highest level of the UK scene. It's not necessarily going to be dominated by these pro-continental teams. The likes of Saint Piran, the likes of Nun Sigma Sport, and various other different clubs and small race teams are going to be coming to the fore, which might not actually be a bad thing. There's going to be less money in it, so there's going to be less promotion of it. They're not going to be seen on the big races when the World Tour comes here, so the likes of the Tour of Yorkshire and the Tour of Britain. But maybe it's going to be a good thing. It's going to allow those younger riders to come through and shine. It's going to give, riders who potentially wouldn't get seen on the scene, if you see what I mean, because they're going to be at the front of the races now. It's not going to be just dominated by these professionals that are taking steps back from World Tour or pro-continental level, or these really good, really professional, highly skilled pros who are right there just ready to take that step to World Tour. So I don't know what's going to happen with the UK scene. It's going to be interesting. Let me get your thoughts on it. What do you think? If you race here in the UK, if you've been part of the UK racing scene, is this the death of what has been some amazing years of racing here in the UK? And is this planting a new seed for new teams, new ways of coming up through the ranks? here in the UK. I don't know. But it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on, first up, Cherie Pridham and an 11-year tenure as boss of this team, as well as what's going to be happening on the UK racing scene in the coming years. Leave them down below. All right then, let's talk about the last story. I saved this one for last because juicy, innit? Juicy. As Zwift, for the first time, sanctioned 2 of their riders and banned them from riding any esports for 6 months. Zwift has suspended esports access to 2 riders after a dual recording disputes and evidence of data manipulation. How dare they? How bloody dare they? Well, at least that's cleaned up anyway. We've got rid of the 2 cheats. Don't need to worry about it anymore. Anyway, let's talk more about this story. So for those of you that don't know, certain esport race organisers stipulate that power data from a rider's smart trainer needs to be validated by a secondary power source, i.e. a power meter. The comparison of the 2 files is what helps the platform and organisers identify poorly calibrated trainers and power meters. So the first dirty cheat, unbelievable, is Lizzie Duncombe. Look at this cycling news treating this like it's some sort of goddamn CSI episode. The Duncombe investigation was triggered by a 4th place, didn't even win it, brilliant, she received for a Zwift Racing League women's qualifier event on the 17th of September. Zwift requires reference files from riders, and upon closer interrogation of the data, a series of inconsistencies were revealed. Now I'll be honest, there is a sanction sheet here, but I just can't be bothered to read it. See, we were having this discussion last night on my stream, and Neil's made a good point. Like cheating is trying to gain an unfair advantage with intent. Like I'm sure there's people out there who don't or are not aware that you need to calibrate a trainer all the time. That some potential power meters could overread compared to a smart trainer. There are people that just don't know that. They think a watt is a watt and everything measures the same. But then there's people, a bit like Lizzie, who take it upon themselves to either miscalibrate or don't use the correct power meter reading. So instead of using that smart trainer, they're using a power meter reading, which they know overreads. And yeah, that becomes cheating. So when you put those 2 dual recordings, you overlay them, there is a big discrepancy. But I've seen big discrepancies in other power meters. I'm sure I had what was it? Was it the KISS Super League? I can't quite remember which race it was. But we took a look at some of those power files. The dual recording was way out. It was way out. But I don't, listen, I don't care if Lizzie Duncombe has cheated. I don't. And I bet there's a lot of people out there who don't care. I mean, there's a lot of people who just don't give no about Zwift racing in general. They think it's pathetic. They think it's a waste of time. They think it's not really cycling. But as I've said before on the channel, it's here to stay. It's going to be part of the cycling landscape. And it is going to be a good money maker for people that get it right. Not necessarily the riders, but the events. It's just a shame Zwift like to be really, really tight and not allow anyone else to do anything with it, because I think there's some great opportunities to hold unofficial championships, national championships, world championships, you know, down the esports route rather than the sanctioned UCI events. But anyway, that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is people are cheating and no one cares. And what can you do about it anyway? So the other person that got banned was Shani Burger. The Burger case arose after a 2nd place in an off-the-map women's race. These races are not even real races. Like, it's just a random race that anyone could have entered on Zwift. I dare say there was probably 20 people in there with miscalibrated machinery, people that have actually gone out of their way to miscalibrate the machinery to get it reading higher, and people who have just manipulated their data files at the end. She can't be the only one, right? Anyway, according to this Zwift release here, again, lots of I mean, come on, all this effort in a Zwift Performance Verification Board decision. I mean, if there's money involved, it might be a bit different, but I'm sure there's not. Anyway, let's have a look. In the Zwift Performance Verification Board decision 0078 Burger, dated 18th of August, the board decided to annul the result of the rider in the above race due to a breach of the technical requirements for the event. In summary, the event required the primary source of power data to be the trainer, not a power meter. But the event logs collected by Zwift Game Service show that the rider had paired a power meter, not a trainer, as their primary source of power data. And the average variance between the power...
Hey up, it's me, Chris Pritchard. I'm just editing this this video. By God, this is boring. I mean, I'm basically reading through the sheet you can see here now, but I'm just editing it back, and it's bloody boring. But anyway, if you want to carry on listening to it, I'm going to cut further down this because it's just boring. But anyway, let's get back to the news story. She cheated. End of, right?
The board judged that the most likely explanation for points 1 and 2 above is that the rider paired their power meter to both the game as the primary power source via Bluetooth and to the Garmin via AMP+. Dirty cheater. Over the next 24 hours, Zwift received multiple emails from the rider's team manager and team owner. Anyway, I'm not getting into that. Protesting the annulment of the result. Their stated grounds for this were A, that the rider had been adamant that they had their trainer paired as the primary power source. It's simple to find that out. And B, that the rider had provided the team with the Zwift log.txt file recorded on their own computer from the event, which included the following section identifying the I'm bored of this already. But look at that. I don't know what that means. Power, Saris power, and then below it says power stages, which I presume means one was measuring the Saris power and one was measuring the stages power. Like, I absolutely love Zwift racing. I think it is a legitimate way of having a bit of fun and a little bit of competition during the off season. And you can't take it too seriously. There's too many people taking it far too seriously. And yet there's this much that needs to be taken seriously, and Zwift can sort that out. But with normal races, I mean, I know when I enter a race that there's probably going to be people cheating, and I just try and batter myself to bits. That's it. Like, I'm not going to get a World Tour contract out of it. I'm not going to increase my race license points to move up to a third or second cat. It's just a little bit of fun and just a little bit of way to really get yourself to work as hard as you can during an effort or a race. Right, over to you. Am I wrong on this? Should we be taking this much more seriously at the minute? Now, listen, the World Championships are coming up. Yes, it needs to be taken seriously, and it's a perfect opportunity for the UCI and for Zwift to say, this is what we're capable of doing. Look how fun this is. Look at the show that we've put on. And when it comes to Zwift racing and people from home, you've just got to take it all with a pinch of salt, and you've just got to accept that there are some people cheating, and there are some people willing to do stupid stuff just to win a virtual race that means absolutely nothing, unfortunately. Or do you think Zwift are jumping on these two just to make it clear that they're now willing to ban people? Because this is the first time Zwift have sanctioned anybody for cheating, isn't it? It's the first time Zwift have made the decision to ban people from racing. Think on that one. And it comes just before the World Championships. Are they trying to just say, we're taking this seriously and we want to be serious? But don't forget, it's hard to take Zwift seriously about racing when Zwift were so adamant that they were never going to get involved in racing. And they were like, it's a community thing, let's leave it there, don't worry about it, let's not touch that. And now they're kind of getting on board, and they've got the Zwift power, they've got the Zada, if that's what you're still allowed to call it, I don't know anymore. But basically the people that check the data to make sure it's right. So I don't know, it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on it though. Are these two scapegoats just to throw under the bus a little bit, just to say we are trying to do something? They're still going to be able to ride Zwift. They're still going to be able to ride non-sanctioned events, I think, as well. So like races and group rides and things like that. So the only thing I think that these two riders can't race is Zwift sanctioned events where they require dual recordings. Could be wrong though. Not researched it, but No, I'm not even. I'm not going to lose sleep about it. Let me know your comments down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. That is Friday's show done and dusted. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a bit ad hoc, I'll be honest, but you know, I did put a lot of effort into to editing it. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you want to stay abreast of news, views, and live streams, and then hit that dislike button if you've not enjoyed it for whatever reason. But make sure, above all, that you leave your comments down below and have an amazing, amazing weekend. I'll see you next week.